Welcome to Extras, part of the Drag Me to the Movies podcast. My name is Joe.
And I'm Ned.
And in this episode, we're going to talk about mind alterations. We're going to piggyback off of Total Recall that we watched a few episodes ago. And we're going to discuss basically the concept of mind alterations. Do they work in films? Would we do it ourselves potentially if it was something that
Yes.
uh, go on our own vacations of memories and stuff like that.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. So Ned, why don't we start with some movies that talk about mind alterations, and then we can kind of take
Well,
it from there. So
I mean, our last episode was Total Recall, so let's start there.
sure.
So that movie sets up the premise of actually, using recall to, you know, kind of plant things into people's brains, like vacations, potentially whole personas, and anything that they feel like implanting. Um, let's start with the simple aspect of if someone could implant a vacation into your brain, would you do that instead of actually going on the vacation?
So my follow-up question is the technology vetted at this point? Because if it's any chance of what happens in Total Recall, I'm not sure. Not sure that I would. But if it's something guaranteed to work, maybe.
Guaranteed to work, you would omit actually doing the real thing.
I would, yeah, if everything was working okay, I would do the real thing.
Wait, you would do the implant?
I would.
Interesting. I don't think I would. Can you elaborate on why you would like to do it that way?
Yeah, so I think it could be used therapeutically in some ways. So for instance, let's say like you have a fear of skydiving, right?
Sure.
And you want to overcome that. Well, one way that you might be able to overcome that is if they put a positive experience in your mind to say like, oh yeah, you did it once before and you had a blast, you know?
Mm,
Something
okay.
like that I think could be used pretty well. I also think like this doesn't necessarily fit me at this moment, but if like, God forbid I'm on my deathbed at some point and I have unfinished business that I would have liked to have done in my life, I feel like that would be a cool way to do it as well, right? Like, you always wanted to go to the Eiffel Tower and you have no way of making it now,
So a way
and have it
of
implanted into you.
fakely completing your bucket list, is that kind of what you're going for?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Um I myself, though, I mean, I would have to be very particular in why I'm doing it.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I would be open to the idea.
Okay. And also, like, if you're kind of going those routes, like, I don't want to necessarily go too dark, but, like a make a wish type thing. And
Right.
like you mentioned, pretty much people on their deathbed or other circumstances that arise in life, having that opportunity to at least think you went and did those things might be a nice way to go out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you think about Make a Wish, right? Like,
Hmm.
there's the ones you see where a kid goes to Disney World, right? And the kid
Right.
thankfully is still able to at that point. But what about the ones that it's too late?
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that would be an appropriate use of it. Um,
Yeah.
that being said, there is always going to be a little bit of doubt in the back of my mind of like trusting it just
Hmm.
because big corporations
Plus the cost. Like,
can't trust them. And
yeah.
yeah, right.
I mean, I wouldn't want
That's
to
the
do
other
it
side of
on
it
my
too.
deathbed and then leave my
Right.
family with the bill.
Right. Like if the cost is more than what it would be to go on the adventure or whatever,
Right.
it probably wouldn't be worth it.
Right. Yeah. I would agree on that aspect as well. Okay. Um, so what about like whole personas essentially? Would you want to have that done where you like don't want to remember who you are or anything and just want to be a whole new person that's a badass?
No, I would not want to change my persona. I would want to keep me.
Hmm.
In that case, well, like chances are there's a couple things from this, right? Like if I'm not a badass in real life, like I probably don't want to be a badass in my memory either. There's probably a reason I chose not to take that route.
Right.
Um, but the other side of that too is like I don't know when a memory gets implanted, right? Like the example I gave of like, uh acting as if you went skydiving so that you didn't have the fear anymore, right? That's
Hmm.
altering your mind
Right.
so that you believe things. So I worry that like if you think you're a badass in a memory, that could unlock some tendencies in some people too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like how many people are out there that have intrusive thoughts of doing something that's illegal or dangerous or whatever, um and they're just one confidence boost away or a mind alteration away from doing it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that kind of worries me,
I mean, that kind
of
of comes back to like Taxi Driver and how he ended
right,
up getting the motivation to take some action.
right, yep.
Okay. So another one that kind of ties into what we're talking about here is like the movie Blade Runner. You have the replicants that, obviously their memories and things are kind of organized for them. If you were
Hmm.
a replicant, but you didn't know you were a replicant, would you want to know?
I don't think so. I think I think I'd rather just be in ignorant bliss, myself. And the reason I say that is like I think about like life in general. I mean, we're going deep with this stuff, but
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
go
yeah.
there. So like life in general, right? Like if you were to be able to find out uh I'm trying to think of the appropriate way to say this, but like let's say you could find out what happens after death,
Mm,
right? Would
yeah.
you want to know?
Um, if I could, like, at this point in time, want to know what happens after you die,
Yeah.
sure, why not?
Okay. Even if it's not good.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Because then
Yeah.
I
See, I think
can kind of course correct, um, and go out the way I want to go out and knowing that information.
okay. See, I think I'd rather just be in ignorant bliss in that case, right?
Yeah,
Just continue believing what I'm believing and live my life accordingly.
yeah. I don't know.
Right.
I've always kind of
So,
been more scientific with things, so me acquiring more information to help me make informed decisions,
mhm.
sure. So that's kind of the route I take.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I typically am scientific in that realm as well.
Hmm.
I just think that, you know, some things I feel like some things like that are bigger than us can lead to some, to your point, some giant alterations in how you uh move forward, right? Um
Yeah,
and so I'm
but
not sure.
it's based off information that I know.
True.
And I would still
True.
have the same morals and things that I've developed. It's just I have a new piece
Well,
of
you
information
would,
that helps influence that. Yeah.
right? You would, but can't say that for others, right?
True.
But
True.
yeah. No, I understand your perspective on that.
Yeah. So for something like, you know, I had asked you about the replicants being self aware. What if it was
Mhm.
the Matrix? Would you want to be awoken to the real world or just stay in the Matrix?
Yeah, so that's a tough one too, right? Like
Mm
again, live in the simulation and not really have a care kind of
hmm. Mm
thing. But then also the other side of that is, you're not living a life that you could be. There's stuff that you're missing. But on the other side of that then too is
hmm. You're
I'm
being
not sure
hunted by
that the life on the
robots.
other side of the matrix is
Yeah.
better, right? Yeah, it's hard to it's I don't know that I could tell you what I would prefer. I think again I would probably choose ignorance is bliss in that
Yeah.
case.
I
Uh
would probably like knowing what I know about that, and obviously like I feel um it could have been presented to Neo a little bit better. Morpheus did him dirty, I think, by like highlighting what the Matrix is compared to what real life is, where you're struggling for meals and place to live, and the sun's no longer there, and robots are hunting you down.
Right,
Um,
you're always under threat of violence and death.
right. So it's just
Right.
like, which would I prefer?
Mhm.
Although then on the other side, for him at least, it was like the dead end job with the boss up his ass, and
True. Well,
so
and the other side of that too is getting to know what you were doing also unlocked the ability to download kung fu and jujitsu and
mm,
stuff like that. So,
yeah,
I guess
to be on
that's
the
kind of badass too.
outside, knowing all the things, being able to train yourself, and then being re-uploaded to the Matrix, that might be the way to go. Knowing fully well that
Yeah,
you're essentially able to do whatever you want in the Matrix. So yeah, that one's tough. I have a feeling I'd probably like if I knew what was out in the real world in that scenario, I probably would want to stay in the Matrix.
right. Yeah, yeah. I think I agree with you.
Okay. All right, so I have another one which is going to lead me into not a movie, a TV series, but I feel it's appropriate. So, the movie Office Space presents the option where Peter is trying to ask his therapist, is like, is there a way you could just make it feel like I've been fishing all day instead of work? Um, which there's a TV series on Apple called Severance, which
Hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with the premise of that.
I'm familiar. I've not watched it, but
Okay.
um, yeah, I'm
So
familiar with like basically when they walk through a door, like they get like their job brain turned on, right, or whatever.
yeah, they're pretty much separated from their outside life compared to their work life. So would you want the opportunity to shut off yourself at work, coming home thinking you were just doing whatever and you were back to your normal life? Is that something you would desire?
I don't know. I mean, uh, that's tough because there's parts of my job that I despise, but then
Mm-hmm.
there's parts that I kind of live for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not sure I'd want to just do one or the other, you know? Um man, I think I would prefer to live the day through like actually doing what I was doing rather than being in that mindset, right? Um just because I do I and call me weird or whatever, but I do get a high from work sometimes of like being able to figure things out and work through some difficult stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
so I wouldn't want to lose that, I don't think.
Okay. For
What about you?
me, I I kind of go back and forth on this. I have a feeling I'm more on the side of don't let me feel like I've put in a full day of work. Being able to come home with a fresh mind and not be completely mind drained, I think would have a very different impact on my life outside of work. So I feel that aspect, I would be okay with doing that.
So let me ask you this.
Hmm.
In that show,
Right.
um I imagine, right, like they probably show the work persona, right? And what it
Yes.
does to people. So, like if you're walking into an office and having a terrible time, right? But your mind doesn't know that it's happening, does the body still reflect that, do you think? Like for instance,
I
let's
think
say
it
you had a real bad
could.
day, right? And you're just
Right.
drained. You're just drained. Like you get home, you don't want to do anything, you're a vegetable
AKA
on your
today.
couch. Right. Yeah, I didn't want to call it out, but yeah. So, like, that happens, but you have memory of fishing all day, but you get home and you feel like, just like you've been through the ringer. Um, does it make it worth it?
I mean, if I
You
had
know?
mental fatigue after it, yeah, I wouldn't do it. But if I don't and have those things kind of isolated, I'd be okay with it.
Okay, okay. And I have
Like
to imagine too with this show too, it's office jobs?
in this case, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another tough one. I think my official answer would be that I would wanna live the work day.
Okay. Fair enough. Um, do you have one that you would like to bring up?
Yes, let's talk about, Vanilla Sky. Are you familiar with Vanilla Sky?
I saw it once a pretty long time ago. You'd have to refresh my memory on what happened in that one.
Yeah, so it's been a while for me as well, but basically, if I remember the premise, and I'm probably going to get some of this wrong because it's been a long time for me as well, but if I remember right, there's a company that basically offers something where you kind of get put into stasis when you're dead or dying, um, where you kind of get to live out uh, your life, kind of
Okay.
thing. And so part of it is that you're living your life out like as if you'd never died or gotten sick or whatever. Um, but in the film, it plays out where the main character realizes he's in his own dream like state, and can see how like either his mind or the service that he bought is trying to alter to keep him in you know a certain mindset, and so he's kind of fighting it the whole way through. So I probably didn't explain it too well, but I hope you follow what I was kind of going with there. But um, so in that case, like if there was a like Ned, you're on your deathbed, and they can help you pass on by you know inserting memories, I guess, that you're living through at the moment, not necessarily like past memories like in Total Recall, would you do that?
Um, no, probably not. You?
No, I don't think I would either. I think in this case, again, going morbid, I think dying is something that is the great equator, whatever I'm trying to say.
Equalizer?
Equalizer. Yeah, there's the word. Everybody goes through it. So I feel like it would be a shame to rob yourself from, experiencing that. As terrible as that sounds, and as grotesque as that sounds, I feel like that's, something you should probably face when the time comes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, personally, I've come to accept death as a thing. It's gonna happen. It's
Hmm.
outside of my control. Um, Obviously, I have some control, maybe on, or some influence at least on how that happens. Um, but yeah, if it's my time, it's my time. I don't want to prolong it. Like, I don't want to be a vegetable. I don't want to end up like just being bedridden or a burden on anybody. So yeah,
Hmm.
at that point, it's like, just pull the plug.
Right.
That was a good one.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, I got another one. I,
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this one. Equilibrium.
Uh, I believe I have. I gotta look real quick.
Yeah,
Make
it's kind
sure
of
I'm
like
not
that
missing it.
Fahrenheit 9/11 kind of thing. It's ultimately like it has Christian Bale in it.
Mhm.
He's great in it. But it's essentially a future where you're not meant to feel, and there's
Yes.
some
Yeah,
like
I have
gung
seen
fu
this.
stuff going on. But yeah, essentially they're taking like suppressant pills and stuff where you're not meant to feel, but with that, there's kind of I don't know, a future where there's like no war, no bad things per se, I guess, is
Mhm.
kind of what they're going for. A utopian type place.
Right.
Would you take that pill to live in kind of what is considered utopian type
Mhm.
universe where you can't read books,
So
watch movies, feel anything?
yeah, so no, I wouldn't. um, and through some experience with that, I in one part of my life have taken an antidepressant.
Okay.
And it got me out of what I needed it to do, or what it did what it needed to do, right? It got me
Hmm.
out of the state that I was needing to get out of. But I didn't like how it just made me feel numb, to things. Like there like I still had like joy and sadness and stuff, but like highs were no longer high
Right.
and lows were no longer low. And yeah, I didn't like that. And ultimately, was able to get off of that, and I'm glad I did. And please, listeners or watchers, don't read into this as me saying like don't take that medicine. Like it's there for a reason, right?
Right.
Um, but yeah, I myself, having been on it, if I needed it again, I would do it, but not as like a long term, like this is the way life is kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
How about you?
I definitely would not want to live in that world. Like, I like feeling things. I like movies. I like books. Yeah, I just, even with a utopian environment, which, I would love to see, but I would also like to feel in that utopia.
Hmm.
So yeah, ultimately I would pass. So,
Okay.
all right, I have another one. This one's a little weird, but I think it's applicable to things that we have kind of going on. Um, there's a movie called Existence. Are you familiar with that one?
I am not.
So this one is definitely weird. It's spelled Existen. Um, and it's a movie from 1999. It's kind of considered body horror. Um, and think of it as, instead of like having, an Xbox, PlayStation, or whatever that you can just kind of hop into, it's kind of like a VR environment, but instead of being some like hardware mechanical type thing, it's more of a biopod that you pretty much plug into yourself and fuse with and get influenced with chemicals and all types of things. Which, in a way, it's kind of a simulated world like VR is for us today, just without the body horror.
Hmm.
Would you want to live a life where a majority of your life, and I guess, even Ready Player One kind of gets into this a little bit, where you have more of your life taking place in a virtual environment compared to real life?
At this current time, no. uh, if the world gets into a real terrible place, sure. But at this point in time, like I don't need to escape life that
Mhm.
badly. Um, like in that case, I kind of look at like I don't know if you've ever seen like VR chat, like the game VR chat or
I've
Second
seen,
Life
I
or
haven't
something like that.
done it myself.
Yeah, I mean this is a whole other rabbit hole to go
Right.
down, but so just like any game, there are people that take it too far, right?
Correct.
And uh I've seen some things lately with VR chat, for instance, where people live in there so much that like they believe they are their personas in the game kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's super unhealthy. Like they probably are in there to escape the life they're in, right? Like I
Right.
know, video games are a form of escapism, right? For a lot
Correct.
of people. So I get it, but like there are people in that game that swear that they have something called phantom pain. Have you ever heard about this?
I have. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like that in my mind makes it like I don't know that I would want to live in something like that because you start to blur the lines of reality and make believe, right? Um and so yeah, I think current state of the world, no, I would not want to do that, but we're not far off from me maybe considering it.
Yeah, and then I guess this also kind of comes back to like what our conversation around total recall and the vacations, but like virtual reality stuff I think can help individuals that would feel socially distanced otherwise. Um like, someone who's in a car accident or, really badly hurt where they're wheelchair bound and they can't get out as easily, having something like that might be a good way to keep in touch with others and have some connection and maybe avoid another taxi driver out there.
Right.
So I think there's pros and cons,
Yeah.
but yeah, ultimately I choose not to live in that type of environment myself.
Right.
It's cool to visit, but I don't think I'd want to stay.
Right. Right. Yep. I would agree there.
All right. So the next one I have is actually there's two movies from Christopher Nolan that I want to touch upon. The first is Inception. You've seen
Okay. That
that?
was on my
Yes.
list. I have,
Okay.
yeah.
Good. Um, would you want people messing with your mind like that?
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
No,
Same.
sir.
And then the other movie of his is Memento. Have you seen that one?
I don't think so.
All right. So in that case, it's not necessarily someone mind altering them but themselves, but it's a guy who's got short term memory and he puts tattoos on himself of the things he wants to remember. So when he lapses, he can read those tattoos and get back up to speed.
Okay.
Does that sound interesting?
Um, huh.
From a movie premise, I'm
No.
talking right now.
From a movie, yeah. I was gonna say in real life,
Yeah.
it's like taking Sharpie and writing on your own.
Yeah. All right. I'm
You know
going to
what I
add
mean?
that to our list.
Okay.
So you're against it, but in general, curious about the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I would tend to agree. I'm definitely not covering myself in tattoos. Um, so, all right. Do you have another one?
The only other one I was going to talk about, and I have not seen this in forever, is Shutter Island.
Oh,
And
that was
that's
on my list
not
too.
yeah, it's not necessarily, I don't know, mind altering as for much as a mind uh
It is
manipulation. I guess it is, yeah.
like
What are your thoughts on
he.
that?
I mean, in general, like if it was a way for him to get past something, um, I'm okay with it as long as it's not harming anybody else. And that's kind of
Right,
where I feel that movie has it kind of played out. Was like, does he really know, or is he just getting the procedure just to forget? So
right.
in general, if it's okay and that's the way they want to go, I'm all right with it. I don't think I'm in a situation where I need it, but if I was, I might consider it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there.
Nice. The only other one I had that I wanted to touch upon is the Get Out movie, which I think we're both probably going to be on the same page. Is you don't want someone else coming into your mind, taking over your body while you just sit in the sunken world. Is
Right.
that fair?
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
All right, cool. All right. Well, that's all I had on my list. I don't know if you have any last minute ones that you want to throw in.
No, I think we covered everything I would want to anyway.
Awesome.
So, listeners, viewers, what do you think? Would you choose to do any of the things we talked about from any of the universes? Let us know on our socials. You can let us know on Facebook or on threads at To The Movies Pod, or you can let us know in the comments on YouTube at The Movies Pod.
Also,
And
uh,
yeah,
if you want and you have ideas for movies we didn't talk about, let us know. Maybe it's something we haven't seen we can actually watch and do an episode on.
absolutely, absolutely. We have a backlog of films, but we're gonna run out eventually. So let us know.
We're always okay with switching it up as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Ned, thanks for jumping into this mind altering conversation with me.
No problem, man. I had fun with it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And we'll catch the rest of you in the next episode.
Indeed.
Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.